Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Dukdale TV. Once again, this is Dukdale, your practical guide in writing and action research in education. This afternoon, another topic will be discussed so that individuals who wanted to write an action research, they will always be guided. So our focus this afternoon is on how to write an introduction of your action research. But before that, for those who are new to this channel, I want you to subscribe and then hit the notification bell so that if I have new videos relating to writing and action research in education, you will always be updated. Before we are going to discuss our topic this afternoon, let us have first a review of what was the topic that we discussed last meeting. Last meeting, you are taught on how to craft or formulate an action research questions. From that discussion, there were research titles that has been posted, and from that research title, you are taught on how to identify the variables because the variables are necessary in writing or crafting an action research questions. The discussion focused on the two types of questioning in making an action research. The first was on the identification of the two variables, and the other one is on the identification of one variable in the research title. So from that discussion, we formulated action research title, and from the title, we are formulating action research questions. So I hope that from that discussion, you gained something that could help you when you are going to write an action research. This afternoon, you will be taught on how to write an introduction of your action research. This time, in writing an introduction or context and rationale of our action research, we should have to consider three important elements so that when we are going to start writing an introduction of our action research, these three important elements will be our guide to complete our introduction and rationale, or our context and rationale. So what are the three elements that we have to consider in writing an introduction of an action research? First is on the importance. When we talk about importance, the relativity of your study or the reason why you are or why you wanted to conduct the study. So there, you have to present the necessity or the importance of conducting this particular study. Next is you have to present the gaps. Okay, so when we talk about gaps, these are problems that we discover or these are problems that we identified along the way. And because of this problem, because of these gaps, identified gaps, this is the very reason why we have to conduct a study so that at the end of the study, we could be able to provide a possible solution to the problem. Okay, in writing or in the presentation of the gaps of your study, you should have to present this in an inverted pyramid, so that we could be able to see the extent no, of the problem. For example, for this particular problem on the mastery level of the students in mathematics, for example, this is not only the problem that you face in your classroom, but somehow other schools, other countries, other divisions, other regions as well, they are also experiencing the same. So what you are going to do in the presentation of your gaps or the problems, you should have to start in the national level. No? In the national level, you should have to look for a figure, a percentage, or a numerical explanation that this is really a problem in the national level. After discussing on the national level, you should have to go down to regional level. After regional level, division level, and then school level, and then you are going to zero in to your locality. For example, your subjects or your respondents are grade 7 students. You should have to describe what is really the identified problem from that particular group, so that at the end of the study, this problem, it might be that we could be able to offer a possible solution to the problem based on the results or based on the findings of the study. Okay, so after the presentation of the gap, no, in an inverted pyramid manner, you are going to have the last paragraph. No, you are going to have your last paragraph, and your last paragraph would be the purpose of the study. So, what is really the purpose? Because of this problem that you mentioned, that you discovered, this is the very reason that fuels the researcher to conduct the study. So, in order for you to complete your introduction, you should have only to focus on these three elements. Cite the importance, and then the gaps, and then the purpose of conducting the study. Okay. So, in this case, the internet will provide us rich literature. Or, we need to consult the internet, or the net. The Google is now our aid in the presentation of our introduction. Okay. So there, you should have to open. So I am going to teach you how to do this. No, how to do this. So there, for example, your study is on the mastery level of the students in mathematics. So you are going to open the Google, and then on the search engine, you are going to type why it is important to study this particular topic. No? So, you are going to type on the search engine why it is important to study, and then add your topic, and then click search, and after that, you will be given literature. You will be given literature. So, there are lots of literature that the internet will provide, but not all literature could be able to be applied or to be included in your study. So, you should have to open the literatures provided, and then after that, select the necessary details that is necessary to be included in your study. Okay. Next is on the gap. No? On the gap. So, there in searching or in surfing the gap, the same thing that you are going to do. No? So, there, as what I have said, the internet is very essential in the completion of our study, of our action research. So, the same what you did in looking for the importance. So, you should have to look for a literature in the internet so that you could be able to present the gap. So, what you are going to do now is this, no? So, you are going to write the topic on the search engine. you are going to write the topic. For example, problem on the mastery of students in mathematics. Okay, that is now the topic. After that, you have to search the place or the country or the geography. So, topic, geography, and then add the year. The most important thing in writing research, you should have to consider the recency of your literature. You should have to consider the recency of your literature. That's why, when you are going to search this on the net, you should have to be specific. You should have to be specific. So, on the search engine, what you are going to type is this: the topic, the geography, and then the year. So, why there are still researches that you are including obsolete literature? 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, where in fact we are now on the 20s, no? 2021 to be exact. So, the problem there is you don't know how to utilize the internet. You don't know how to utilize the net. So this time you will be taught on how on what you will be taught on what to do for you to be able to locate recent literature. And then all the literature is relevant to your study. So what you are going to do, you open the Google, and then after that, you are going to type these keywords, important keywords on the search engine. So what are these important keywords? The topic, problem on the level of mastery of the students in mathematics, Philippines, and then 2020. So in that case, when you click search, you will be given literature on the level of mastery of students in mathematics in the Philippines, and all of this in 2020. So, you should have always to consider this. Do not just simply search and search and search. Because you should have also to be specific in asking on what you are going to ask from the internet. Again, you should have to write the topic, the geography, and then the year, no, and then the year, so that you will be given topics on in that particular country, and then on that particular year. Okay, very simple. And then after that, the purpose. In writing the purpose of your study, of course, the very purpose is because you already identified those problems above, no? So meaning to say, you could only present your introduction and rationale or context and rationale in a 4-paragraph, no? 4 paragraphs. First, importance. Second and third, it could be the gap. Or if you could be able to present the gap in 1 paragraph, much better. And then the last paragraph is the justification of conducting the study or the purpose why you are conducting the study. So in that case, you already completed the 3 key elements in the in writing, no? In writing your introduction and rationale or context and rationale, and in that way, with the use of these elements, the 3 important elements, then you could now be able to present a scholarly introduction of your action research. Okay, so that is only, no, those are the things that we have to consider in writing introduction and rationale or context and rationale. And then after that you are going to organize everything, and then after organizing, you could now be able to present a completed introduction of your study. Okay. So again, before we end this discussion on writing an introduction of your action research, again, you should have to consider 3 things. Okay, you should have to consider 3 things or 3 important elements: the importance, the gaps, and then the purpose of the study. Okay, so you could only present that in a 3 or 4 paragraphs. Then, in searching the net, no, because we need the net as our aid to complete this task. So, you should have to be specific. All you have to do when you open the Google and then on the search engine, you should have to write what you are being asked. So, first, why it is important to study. Okay, give the topic. Second, for you to be able to be specific, because in the discussion of the gap, you should have to consider the inverted pyramid, national, regional, division, and then zero into your local, no, to your school. So what you are going to do, type the topic, the geography, and then the year. And then, in the crafting of your last paragraph on the justification why you wanted to conduct the study, so you should have to base this on your prior paragraph on the problem. That because of this problem mentioned in this study, no, with the situation mentioned above, the study is conceived to address the growing problem of, growing problem on the level of level of mastery of students in mathematics, and whatever the result of the study, this will be the basis of the researcher to design a plan of action that will help in solving that identified problem. So, if you have questions, if you have comments, feel free to write your questions and comments on the comment section. So that's the end of this discussion, because it is very simple, no, it is really, no, this is just a simple thing. It is only simple when you are guided on what to do. I hope that with this discussion, it helps you, no, in the crafting of your introduction of your action research. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. God bless, bye-bye, and stay safe always.